say heat. This heat is actually very hot, and it is burning those people, or the exact people who actually invited the heat. Now, you remember that Wednesday that ended the tag, the Black Wednesday in Ghana's history? I mean, not too long ago, about a few weeks back, where 8 illustrious sons of Ghana were involved in a helicopter crash somewhere closer to Obuasi. You remember, right? All right. And then you remember the incident that followed after the crash and all those things pertaining to religious beliefs, pertaining to prophecies and stuff like that. You remember I came your way with a story suggesting that a particular office under the presidency, known as the presidential envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relationship. You remember that story, right? It is right here on this channel. You can check it out. Now, what is coming out of that office is, I don't know how to say whether it's funny or it is serious at the same time. And I'm kind of wondering that, don't these people know Ghanaians that when you give them an inch, they want to take a yard? And they invited trouble for themselves. Now they have made a sharp U-turn, telling the very people that they came to for that kind of, should I say help or whatever, that enough is enough. We are tired. In fact, we are getting drowned with the kind of requests and the kind of messages trooping in. And that is why we are here today, just to dissect everything, get to know what is actually happening under this particular office headed by Elvis Afriyie Ankrah, who once was a sports minister under President Mohammed's first term in office. Now, should I say the heat is on? In fact, this particular heat is on. It is still boiling. In fact, it is hotter than hot, fiery furnace. Now, you remember the issue on the 6th of August 2025 that involved 8 Ghanaians who lost their lives following a helicopter crash somewhere around Obuasi in the Ashanti region of Ghana, right? That fateful Wednesday that ended the tag, the Black Wednesday of Ghana, which threw the state into mourning. You know, everywhere was sorrowful. In fact, it actually spoiled the whole atmosphere of the nation during that time. One significant incident that happened probably in the run-up and then during or even after the crash was prophecies. You remember that a lot of men of God, a lot of prophets came up with prophecies. Videos were playing left, right, center on social media, on mainstream media, traditional media, you know, about men of God, saying a lot of things, prophesying or even playing back prophecies that were given years back concerning incidents like this, and then about top government officials and so many people, which generated a lot of conversations online, you know, experts being interviewed, men of God sharing their views, their opinions concerning prophecies and everything, in an attempt to kind of, you know, control the situation, sanitize the system, or even ensure that, you know, fear and panic was averted. They issued a communique, and that communique sought to ask prophets or men of God, or let me say seers, to submit prophecies for review. And in that communique, they cited exactly who the prophecy must be about before it was brought to that office for review. It included heads of state or high-profile government official. It included the nation Ghana, or anything that borders on security and, you know, life and death matters, everything of that sort. They requested these individuals to submit to that particular office for review, you know, in a way or in an attempt to curtail the spreading of rumors of messages that contain fear or that had the tendency of putting fear into people. Okay. Now, this same office has made a sharp U-turn, and it was under some funny circumstances, let me put it that way. Now, you remember they invited the prophecies. Now they are saying that enough is enough. We are done. We are tired. We asked for it. We don't want it any longer. Why are they saying so? It is alleged by the head, that is Elvis Afriyie Ankrah, that 72 hours after issuing that communique, the amount of emails they had, it was mind-blowing. Within 72 hours, they had over 200 prophecies submitted for review. And it was just out of the ordinary. And he went further to say that out of the over 200 they received, about 80% didn't have any substance. In fact, it was nothing to write home about. It didn't contain anything useful to be, stood upon to make decisions or to take decisions in the interest of the nation, because they requested for prophecies that bordered on national security, that bordered on the life of high-profile government officials and other stuff like that. But about 80%, not. It didn't contain anything useful for them to process it into any meaningful whatever. And the 20%, as you already know, and as it is characteristic of many of the prophecies that come out from people concerning politicians and others, it is negative, or it was negative. Something is going to happen, there's this that is going to happen, this misfortune is going to befall this particular person or that. In fact, that has been the trend with prophecies lately in Ghana, especially during 31st night, crossover, walkover, jump over, all those watch night services. And it found its way to this review committee or this review office. So Afriyie Ankrah is saying that enough is enough. And he went further to indicate that if your prophecy doesn't bother on Ghana becoming the next Singapore, becoming like Singapore, forget it. Don't submit for review, because they are not going to review it. If it is not about Ghana becoming Malaysia, forget it. They are not going to review it, because enough of those death prophecies and all those negativity surrounding prophecies. Prophecies isn't just about negativity. It must be able to also foretell good fortunes and stuff like that. And as we speak, he says that they are almost drowning with messages for review, with prophecies for review, because thousands of messages keep dropping by the millisecond, not the second. Because the moment they receive one, in an attempt to open and then probably review, the inbox is full. It is filled with yet a ton of other prophecies that have been submitted for review. And they are saying that Ghanaians, enough is enough. Pastors, enough is enough. They are drowning. They are being inundated with your request for the review of your prophecies. And that is what is coming out of this particular office of the Ecumenical and Interfaith Relations, headed by Elvis Afriyie Ankrah. So whatever comes out again, you are going to be the first to know. In the meantime, know that the heat is on.